And let's begin with a statement coming in from Prime Minister Modi. He is currently in Odisha and speaking there at a massive rally. Prime Minister Modi for the first time has spoken about the conversation that he had with US President Donald Trump, that 35-minute conversation over the phone that happened 2 days ago. Now, Prime Minister Modi, while speaking about it, said, "I humbly rejected the invite of President Trump to visit America so that I could come to the land of Lord Jagannath." Now, Prime Minister Modi, while speaking about it, confirmed that yes, Trump did invite him to make a quick stopover from Canada when he was there for the G7. Listen in to what Prime Minister Modi said.
साथियों, अभी 2 दिन पहले मैं कनाडा में G7 समिट के लिए वहां था और अमेरिका के राष्ट्रपति ट्रंप ने मुझे फोन किया। उन्होंने कहा कि अब कनाडा तो आए ही हैं तो वाशिंगटन होकर के जाइए, साथ में खाना खाएंगे, बातें करेंगे। उन्होंने बड़े आग्रह से निमंत्रण दिया। मैंने अमेरिका के राष्ट्रपति को कहा कि आपका निमंत्रण के लिए धन्यवाद, मुझे तो महाप्रभु की धरती पर जाना बहुत जरूरी है। और इसलिए मैंने उनके निमंत्रण को नम्रतापूर्वक मना किया और आपका प्यार, महाप्रभु की भक्ति मुझे इस धरती पर खींच करके ले आई है।
Prime Minister Modi there confirming that he did receive an invite from President Trump, and the way Prime Minister puts it is essentially that President Trump invited him for a meal at the White House in Washington. But Prime Minister Modi, speaking there in Bhubaneswar, says, "I humbly rejected the invite because I wanted to be with the people of Odisha in the land of Lord Jagannath to soak in the love." It's the 8th day of the conflict in West Asia, of the Israel-Iran war. Doesn't look like we're anywhere close to a ceasefire. Let me begin by getting you all the latest developments in the last 24 hours in this conflict. What can be called a special gesture, the Iranian government has agreed to open its airspace to facilitate special flights for Indian students. The government says that it will cooperate with India to send back about 1,000 Indian nationals by special flights beginning tonight. As Israel and Iran trade missiles with each other, the Iranian regime has rejected any negotiation with America. Ahead of talks in Geneva, Iran's foreign minister has said that as long as aggression continues, there's no space for dialogue or diplomacy. Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian has also stated that an unconditional stop to Israeli aggression is the only path to peace, warning that failure to do so would warrant a harsher response from Iran. Mass gatherings took place across Iran during Friday prayers to honor those killed in recent Israeli airstrikes. In Isfahan, a funeral procession and public demonstration dubbed the March of Anger was held. Romania, meanwhile, has also chosen to evacuate its nationals from Israel. The Romanian government has said 122 evacuees have arrived so far. 37 more are on their way. Okay, let's focus really on what really America is going to be doing. They've said that they'll take a decision in 2 weeks. We'll have with us on this broadcast Shivani Sharma joining us live from Tel Aviv in Israel. We're the first Indian channel to be getting you those updates from Israel, first-hand accounts from Shivani there. Rohit Sharma joins us live from Washington, D.C. to tell us really what America's game plan is. Shivani, Rohit, thank you for joining us on this broadcast. I'll come to you in just a bit. Let me just summarize for our viewers what's been happening in the last few hours. And one question everyone's asking is, will America enter the West Asia conflict? We can never really guess what Trump will do or decide, but there seems to now be a timeline as to when there will be a decision. The White House has claimed that in the next 2 weeks, Trump will make his move, either to enter the conflict and offer military help to Israel or to sit this one out. But the 2-week deadline also offers hope. Why do I say that? Because there is hope then that 2 weeks, there could be maybe diplomatic efforts ramped up that could help ease tensions before it reaches a military level. The White House has also confirmed that there was substantial chance of negotiations with Iran, but there was no way that the Islamic regime could be allowed to post nuclear weapons. And that, for them, is something they're not going to negotiate on. So as things stand, it looks virtually impossible that there could be a ceasefire right now. We don't know if that'll change in 2 weeks, but right now, impossible. Why? Because Iran also has made it clear that any ceasefire now, according to them, will lead to renewed war. And so if they're not even willing to have a dialogue, there's no way America or Israel will budge with their stand on Iran, being crystal clear that Iran cannot possess nuclear weapons.
Regarding the ongoing situation in Iran, I know there has been a lot of speculation amongst all of you in the media regarding the president's decision-making and whether or not the United States will be directly involved. In light of that news, I have a message directly from the president, and I quote, "Based on the fact that there's a substantial chance of negotiations that may or may not take place with Iran in the near future, I will make my decision whether or not to go within the next 2 weeks." That's a quote directly from the president for all of you today. And with respect to Iran, nobody should be surprised by the president's position that Iran absolutely cannot obtain a nuclear weapon. He's been unequivocally clear about this for decades.
ما در شرایط حاضر و در شرایطی که تهاجمات رژیم صهیونیستی ادامه داره خواهان مذاکره با هیچ کسی نیستیم. و آمریکا یعنی در خصوص این موضوع با هیچ کسی ما خواهان مذاکره نیستیم. آمریکایی‌ها خواهان مذاکره هستند. چند بار هم پیام دادن. پیام‌های خیلی جدی هم دادند. ولی ما صراحتاً به اونها گفتیم که تا وقتی که این تهاجم و تجاوز متوقف نشه اصولاً حرف از گفتگو زدن، حرف از دیپلماسی زدن جایی نداره و با آمریکا به عنوان شریک این جنایات هم هیچ صحبتی نداریم. بعضی کشورها واسطه شدن، پیشنهاداتی مطرح کردن، تماس تلفنی، تماس چنان. ما هیچ تماسی و هیچ گفتگویی با آمریکایی‌ها نداشتیم و در شرایط حاضر هم نخواهیم داشت. این رو من تکلیف باید روشن بکنم. خبرسازی‌هایی که میکنن همه به اصطلاح صحت نداره و احتمالاً ناشی از بالاخره اهدافی است که این کار رو انجام می‌کنه.
Let me take this across to Shivani as well as Rohit Sharma for more details. Rohit, to you first, what really America plans to do here? What's the domestic support looking like for Donald Trump right now? Perhaps one of the biggest challenges he faces is the fact that there are many pro-peace MAGA supporters who he could anger if he chooses to enter this conflict.
Absolutely. That's one of the things that's been dominating conversation domestically here in the U.S., Akshita, that there are people within his party, within his base, who do not want Donald Trump to take America to a war. And I think the reason is pretty clear. I think America hasn't really fared well in past wars. They do not have had an exit strategy. The regime change has, not worked in many cases, almost entirely in all the cases. So I think it all depends on, what President Trump is informed by the intelligence community, and he does have to sell his plan to intervene to his audience here, his base here in America. Also the fact that he also needs an authorization from the Capitol Hill. Any act of war is usually authorized by those on the Hill. And I don't think he has numbers there. I think domestically, he has been focused on passing the big, beautiful bill. So I think this kind of throws a wrench in his plans. He obviously has extended this deadline that he was talking about initially, where, Iran could come in and talk. And we'll see that, I think, in 20 minutes from now in Geneva, Switzerland. There will be foreign ministers from the French, UK, and German who will be talking to the Iranians. So all eyes are obviously going to be in Switzerland as to what it becomes. And could this be the last saving act of these negotiations? But domestically, as you pointed out, it is tough for President Trump right now to sell this plan of an all-out war against Iran.
As far as these countries are concerned, the foreign ministers who will be meeting with their Iranian counterpart, there is going to be a conversation where they will suggest that US is open to direct talks, to a conversation about what the situation is right now and to reach some sort of middle ground. I want to bring in Shivani also on this broadcast. Shivani, with Operation Rising Lion right now that Israel has kicked off, there is a lot of talk that Israel is hugely dependent right now on America if they want to essentially finish and reach their end goal of targeting all nuclear sites, including Fordo. So is there an attempt by Israel also to kind of put pressure on America, on their ally, to come on board?
Akshita, I would first like to show you the situation, because when we started this broadcast 2 minutes back, I was standing right in the open. Then the sirens were sounded and everybody who was out came into this area. This is a protected area where I'm standing right now. So this is how the situation is developing in Israel. Anytime the siren sounds, people come out to protect themselves. So the place where I am in is Tel Aviv. And in Tel Aviv, people were outside on the roads, but minutes back, the sirens were sounded and everybody came to this shelter.
I would like chicken masala. Chicken masala for the Miklas,
so
please.
they know I'm from India, so that they are saying that they like Indian food. But yes, to be on a serious note, Akshita, you were speaking to me about United States and Israel putting pressure on United States. So we must tell our viewers that there was an important meeting between the defense minister, the prime minister of Israel, and also the IDF chief with the president of United States, the vice president also. That means that serious deliberations are going on in terms of United States directly taking part in this whole war that is now a full-blown war. And here in Israel, people's lives are actually impacted because, last time when the whole conflict was seen between the Hamas and Israel, the strike of the rockets was not that... See, there is a strike. I could feel that, and that sound of some strike that has happened close by. And people are actually worried. Minutes back, there was a warning signal that came. We came here downstairs in the basement of this building that is a protected building, and we just heard an explosion outside. That means, as we speak, there are some hostile attacks that are going on surrounding the area where we are present right now. So that's what I am saying, that the whole situation is escalating each day by each strike, and this time because Iran is sending quite intense missile systems with warheads ranging from 100 to 500 kilograms with those weapon systems, those strong missile systems. So this is the time when United States is also mulling on being a part of this whole war, and certainly Israel wants United States to be a part of this whole war, because it has been seen that a number of assets of the United States, including the troops, they are in close proximity to the Middle East, and any time when United States decides to be a part of this war, they can be further mobilized for the support of Israel. So here the situation is quite fluid, because every minute the situation changes. There are signals, there are warnings that come in from IDF, and people out here, they are following these signals to be in the protected areas. So even as we speak, Akshita, there seems to be some explosion outside where I'm reporting from, and we need to check what kind of an explosion it was, and what was the intensity of that particular explosion, what was the damage that explosion might have caused. I'm still inside this protected area. We will have to remain inside until we get a green signal from the IDF about going out in the open.
Okay, be careful out there, Shivani. Shivani is in right now, protected area, a bunker, if you will, because of the sirens going off, something that's become routine practice essentially in Israel in these times of conflict. Thank you very much, Shivani and Rohit, for joining us with all of those updates. We've got all of our reporters on the ground across these countries to figure out and decode for you exactly what could be the next move, how we could see this conflict moving forward now. But I want you to take a look at the statements that have come in from Trump in the last many days on how exactly he plans to tackle this Israel-Iran conflict and whether he'll actually enter this conflict. Listen in.
Very simple words, very simple. Unconditional surrender. That means I've had it. Okay, I've had it. I give up. No more. Then we go blow up all the all the nuclear stuff that's all over the place there. No, they had bad intentions. For 40 years they've been saying death to America, death to Israel, death to anybody else that they didn't like. They were bullies. They were schoolyard bullies. And now they're not bullies anymore, but we'll see what happens. They have a plan for everything, but we'll see what happens. Got a ways to go. They should have made the deal. I had a great deal for them. They should have made that deal. 60 days we talked about it, and in the end they decided not to do it, and now they wish they did it. And they want to meet, but it's a little late to meet, but they want to meet. And they want to come to the White House. They'll even come to the White House. So we'll see. I may do that. He said I was going back home to make a ceasefire. Not a ceasefire. We're long beyond ceasefire. And I said, why do you say that? Why would you say ceasefire? It's a bad term to use. Because a ceasefire means like everything's going swimmingly, we'll take a little time off. It's not. We're not looking for a ceasefire. We're looking for a total, complete victory. Again, you know what the victory is. No nuclear weapon. I don't want to get involved either, but I've been saying for 20 years, maybe longer, that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. I've been saying it for a long time. And I think they were a few weeks away from having one. And they had to sign a document. I think they wish they signed it now. It was a fair deal. And now it's a harder thing to sign, It's a lot of water over the dam. But, it's very, I say it very simply, Iran can't have a nuclear weapon. Things change with war. It can go from one extreme to the other. We have the best weapons in the world, by far. Nobody close. And certain countries take advantage of that. Israel has incredible weaponry. So we'll see what happens. I've been asked about it by everybody, but I haven't made a decision.
Welcome back to India First. We've been getting you all the latest updates on the Israel-Iran conflict. Let's talk about what could happen in the days to come. Mind you, we've been seeing with almost every single day an escalation in the conflict right now in West Asia. I have Sandeep with me who will be decoding for us what the escalation ladder in this conflict could look like. So Sandeep, take it away. I think we'll start with where things started first. What was the first step of escalation that's led to this point now?
Well, absolutely. Akshita, it was the 7th of October 2023 when Hamas attacked Israel, massacred civilians. 1,200 people were killed with utter brutality. Hostages were taken. Hundreds of them were taken prisoner, and they were taken into the Gaza Strip. And that is when Israel launched its massive ground assault of Gaza, in which tens of thousands of people have been killed. And of course, 50 hostages still remain unaccounted for.
So the first escalation, the first step that led to the escalation is what happened on October 7, 2023, where you had that attack, that brutal one by Hamas. The next step, let's talk about that as well, Sandeep, of what exactly happened. The next step in the escalation.
The next
ladder.
step was when Iran activated its network of proxies. This is a network that it had created over several decades. You had the Hezbollah in Lebanon, you had the Hamas, of course, in the Gaza Strip, you had Kataib Hezbollah in Iraq, and of course the Houthis in Yemen, 1,000 kilometers south of Israel. They launched attacks, missile attacks on Israel, and then Israel launched attacks to destroy all of these proxies, including Hezbollah, Hamas, and attack the Houthis.
And this was a time when you had multiple attacks, essentially. A multiple front opened up against Israel.
A ring of fire, as they called it.
The ring of fire,
yes.
And so you had Israel hitting back at every one of these sides. And then now, what's happened last week? Operation Rising Line, escalation ladder, the third step?
So we are at stage 3 when Israel launched unprecedented attacks on Iran. Operation Rising Lion, 200 fighter jets launching attacks on something like 100 targets, killing Iranian nuclear scientists, leadership figures, attacking air bases, nuclear weapons sites, all of that. So that is where we were at just last week. And a week later, just a week later, you have stage 4, which is when Iran attacks Israel using hypersonic missiles.
This is the Fatah one that was used by Iran.
We're not very sure which one was used, but it was one of the three, the Fatah one, the Sejil, or the Khorram Shahar 3, which is IRBM's intermediate range ballistic missiles, which enter the atmosphere at hypersonic speeds of over 10 Mach, between 10 and 15 times the speed of sound. And that is what was possibly used to attack the hospital there. So we are at another scale of escalation. We've climbed one step up the ladder from just 1 week.
In a matter of 1 week, you've seen essentially an unprecedented escalation. And that's what's got everyone worried about what could come next. This is, of course, Iran using hypersonic missiles. And while Israel has the much talked about Iron Dome, there have been missiles that have been able to permeate through and hit their targets. But let's talk about what happens next. And while we've broken down what's happened in the escalation ladder so far, the next few steps are essentially possibilities of how this could escalate further, Sandeep?
Absolutely. And this is the one big question that we are looking at. Will the United States enter the conflict on Israel's behalf? And if they do, what would they attack? And that one possibility is that the United States launches B-2 and B-52 bombers to strike at nuclear sites like Fordo, which are believed to be 90 meters underground. It's one of the world's most heavily protected and defended nuclear sites. It's a uranium enrichment facility. And if the United States enters that, it will have to destroy that for Israel, because that is the ultimate step to denuclearize Iran, as Israel and the United States want.
And that's what Israel is counting on. They've been pushing hard for US to step in because they don't have the kind of arsenal needed to target the Fordo nuke site, which is why they're counting on US stepping in. But if that happens, unprecedented escalation. This could then see an escalation beyond what anyone imagined, that this would be war, essentially.
It would be all-out war, because then Iran will have to retaliate. And if Iran chooses to retaliate, it's not going to attack the United States. It is going to attack all the US bases in West Asia. Now, the US has 8 permanent bases in West Asia, places like Egypt, Jordan, Kuwait, Iraq, Bahrain, Qatar, Saudi Arabia,
Thousands
UAE.
of personnel,
there are 50,000 American servicemen over there. Some of those bases, we are told, have already been emptied out, but Iran would choose to attack all of those bases to signal the fact that it would want to teach the United States a lesson, as they've been threatening. And of course, it could activate its proxies as well. Hezbollah could launch attacks on the United States. There was that truck bombing that Hezbollah carried out in the early 80s, where over 250 Marines, US Marines, were killed in Lebanon. It's one of the largest such suicide attacks, largest loss, single-day loss of US personnel. That was carried out by Hezbollah. Iran could activate them to carry out strikes on Hezbollah, carry out strikes on US interests. So that is in the realm of possibility, given the kind of non-state actors, this ring of non-state actors that Iran has cultivated over the years.
And you could see that in regional terror, as Sandeep pointed out. It could be cyber terror, also cyber attacks that Iran could kick off. But what that will also mean is intensified attacks from America. It won't stop there, Sandeep.
Well, then the Americans get involved in a conflict, exactly what they're worried about. This is again in the realm of possibility that the United States then would have to retaliate to Iranian attacks and proxy attacks. Then they would have to go all out to attack Iranian bases, infrastructure, literally move up the ladder from just targeting that one nuclear site to knocking out all of the Iran's military capabilities, ensuring that it's not just denuclearized Iran, but it is demilitarized as well. So that would be a very big step up the escalation ladder.
If there is retaliation from Iran, if America steps in, that's when you're going to see essentially a vicious cycle of strikes and counter-strikes, because stage 4 of the escalation ladder, stage 8 of the escalation ladder, and this is all an if you see things move to this level, is essentially Iran shutting off the Strait of Hormuz. And that could be a big step also against America, against many countries.
It could. Basically, the Straits of Hormuz are very critical. It's where more than 50% of the world's energy supplies flow through. And Iran has signaled that in the past that it would shut the Straits of Hormuz if it was directly threatened with attacks of this nature. And given the fact that Iran is literally fighting with its back to the wall now. It is in the realm of possibility. It's one of these options. I'd like to remind our viewers that these are all possible alternatives. None of this actually happened. This is what we fear could actually happen if the conflict spirals out of control. And there, Iran could actually strike and shut down the Straits of Hormuz.
Worst case scenario, essentially, if you see US stepping in, it will be non-stop attacks, and Iran isn't going to sit quiet. They're going to try to hit back hard. But the worry here, Sandeep, is at what point will this to you, or if it will at all, turn nuclear? Well,
Iran does not have a nuclear weapon yet, but as our panelists on the show have mentioned, that it is within the realm of possibility that they could use a dirty bomb, an RDD, a radiological dispersal device, to attack the United States, targets, bases around West Asia, possibly even Israel. And that is where things get really, really, nasty, where they go up the nuclear exchange ladder, and things go completely out of control, and that would lead to catastrophic consequences for Iran, because that is when the nuclear lines are going to be crossed, and Israel will have no option but to retaliate with nuclear weapons.
So if America get together and launch nuclear strikes on Iran, what you're looking at essentially then is a global conflict.
It is quite possible. It is. We don't know for sure, but given the way things have panned out in the last couple of months, it was almost improbable to think the kind of attacks that Israel launched on Iran. It is well within the realm of possibility that more countries could enter this war, either actively or as passive supporters.
Like China, like Russia.
China, Russia, if things go really, really south and they see Iran collapsing, it's an important ally for the Russian Federation. That is when these two countries could enter to stop further annihilation of the Iranian regime.
And all of this escalation happening if America actually goes ahead and takes military steps against Iran, which is why we're hoping that it doesn't come to that, because this is the worst case scenario that we played out for you, where it could even turn nuclear. You could have other countries also stepping into this effectively, that it could turn into a global conflict. Thanks very much, Sandeep, for decoding that for us and joining us with your analysis. That's all we have time for in this edition. Let's get your details now of a rather ugly public feud between brothers Dayanidhi Maran and Kalanidhi Maran, playing out because Dayanidhi Maran has actually slapped a legal notice to his brother Kalanidhi Maran over the control of Sun TV network. Remember, Dayanidhi Maran and Kalanidhi Maran are the sons of Murasoli Maran. And while they've not been in the greatest of terms, the fact that now you're seeing this kind of an ugly fight playing out of full public view has also put the focus essentially on the DMK first family, as they're called. Remember, Dayanidhi Maran and Kalanidhi Maran are related to Stalin as cousins.
Two brothers locked in a high-profile feud. The influential Marans in Tamil Nadu are now engaged in a rather public fight all over Sun TV shares. Here's what happened. DMK MP Dayanidhi Maran has slapped a legal notice to his elder brother Kalanidhi Maran, who is a media baron. The legal notice accused Kalanidhi Maran and his wife, among others, of ensuring they had controlling stake in Sun TV network. And this was done, according to the notice, by fraudulent share allotments, forged papers in 2003, while the brother's father, Murasoli Maran, was unwell. According to the notice, Kalanidhi Maran took advantage of his father's illness to quickly allot 12 lakh equity shares in Sun TV to himself, therefore a 60% controlling stake. The legal notice called Dayanidhi Maran as the legal heir of Murasoli Maran, who was denied his rightful share. Dayanidhi Maran, with this legal notice, has demanded that he be given his due share of stake in Sun TV. Dayanidhi Maran has even accused his brother of money laundering. Besides accusing him of forging documents back in 2003 and making fraudulent transactions, the most damning charge is of money laundering, as Dayanidhi has claimed proceeds of crime from these transactions were used for the investments, including the IPL team Sunrisers Hyderabad. While the brothers haven't been on the best of terms for years now, this rather public feud has raised eyebrows. The Maran family is hugely influential in Tamil Nadu. a renowned name in politics and business, particularly as part of the DMK first family. Dayanidhi and Kalanidhi are Chief Minister Stalin's cousins, and hence this quickly took a political turn.
This particular Sun TV network is full of fraudulent activities, is made of misuse of power by the DMK, the first family. Mr. Dayanidhi Maran has very clearly said that the accused, Mr. Kalanidhi Maran, has done a lot of money laundering and cheating and various activities like Sunrisers Hyderabad and SpiceJet and whatnot, even Sumangali Cable.
The network has also written a letter to the National Stock Exchange after its shares tumbled down by saying that the contents of the legal notice are incorrect, misleading and also defamatory in nature. The Sun TV network has also called this as a purely personal feud and that the contents of the legal notice have no bearing on the day-to-day functioning of the company and its business operations. With camera person Daniel, Anaga Keshav reporting for India Today from Chennai.
And in Karnataka, a political firestorm has been kicked off with the cabinet's decision to increase the reservation for minorities in housing schemes. So from 10%, it's now been moved up to 15%. The opposition BJP swiftly condemned the move, accusing the Congress government of again indulging in minority appeasement. All the reactions in our next report.
There seems to be no end to the political Nataka in Karnataka. The BJP and the Congress are at loggerheads once again, this time over the housing quota for Muslims. An audio clip reportedly between Congress MLA B.R. Patil and Sarfaraz Khan, who is the personal assistant to Housing Minister Zamir Ahmed Khan, has triggered a row. In the audio clip, B.R. Patil can be reportedly heard expressing anger that his recommendations for house allotments were set aside in favor of those who allegedly paid bribes. Patil alleged that bribes were taken in distribution of 950 houses in his constituency of Aland. He also warned that if the list of beneficiaries would be made public, the government would be shaken. Ready. In the clip, Sarfaraz Khan is reportedly heard denying the charges, saying that those who receive bribe will be sent to jail if details are provided to him.
राजीव गांधी हाउसिंग कॉर्पोरेशन में जो लोग जाके पैसा देते हैं उनको घर मिला है। सुनिए ये हो रहा है क्या, धंधा हो रहा है क्या?
ऐसा है तो साहब, आप ऐसा है तो दीजिए। मैं लास्ट टाइम आपको बताया और actually will take action sir immediately. We have not done like that sir. I mean if they have done like that we will send them behind bar sir.
भाई मैं अपने सरकार को ऊपर मैं इल्जाम कैसे लगाता हूँ? मैं जो तजुर्बा आया है, जो पैसा दिया है उसको घर मिला है।
नहीं सर, ऐसा हो ही नहीं सकता सर, क्योंकि घर ही नहीं है तो देंगे कहाँ से सर?
जो मेरा लेटर भेजा था वो नहीं हुआ, वही लेटर ग्राम पंचायत के चेयरमैन मेरे पास से लेके गए और पैसा देके लेके आए घर में। अब हमारी इज्जत क्या रहेगा? पैसा खाने का देने का एविडेंस तो मिलता नहीं। पैसे जो लेके गया जो दिया
नहीं सर, इसमें तो जरूर मिलेगा सर एविडेंस। मैं चेक करता हूँ, चेक करके बोलता हूँ सर। मैं सर मैं आपको अभी हाफ एन आवर में
ये पैसा दे के लाए।
मैं अभी चेक करके बोलता हूँ सर।
चेक करते मैं मुंह खोले तो सरकार हिलेगा।
With this proposal, the state government will raise the housing quota for minority communities from the current 10% to 15%. This will be applicable in urban and rural areas and is an effort to rehabilitate increasing number of homeless individuals.
There are no minorities. All the minorities has been in the urban section. There were a lot of lapses of 10%. We did not have 10% of the requirements or the applications to be given in the rural places.
But the BJP has called the move unconstitutional while slamming the Congress over allegations by MLA Patil.
B.R. ಪಾಟೀಲ್ ಹೇಳಿರುವಂಥದ್ದು 100% ಸತ್ಯ. ನಾನು ಅದನ್ನೇ ಈಗ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದು. ಹಣ ಕೊಡದೆ ದುಡ್ಡು ಕೊಡದೆ ಯಾವುದೇ ಕೆಲಸ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ನುವಂಥದ್ದು ಸಾಬೀತಾಗಿದೆ. ಬಡವರ ಮನೆ ಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೂ ಸಹ ದುಡ್ಡು ಕೊಟ್ಟೆ ಮನೆ ತಗೊಳ್ಳುವಂಥ ದುಸ್ಥಿತಿ ಬಂದಿದೆ. ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಸ್ವತಃ BR ಪಾಟೀಲ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂದಮೇಲೆ ಇದನ್ನಾದರೂ ಈಗಲಾದರೂ ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಒಪ್ಪಿಕೊಂಡು ತಪ್ಪನ್ನು ಸರಿಪಡಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬಡವರಿಗೆ ನ್ಯಾಯ ಒದಗಿಸುವಂಥ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಒತ್ತಾಯ ಮಾಡ್ತೇನೆ.
The Karnataka housing quota row comes amidst recent controversy over the state government passing a bill providing 4% reservation for Muslims in public contracts. The latest expose by the Karnataka Congress's own MLA only shows the widening rift within the ruling party in the state. With Nagarjun Dwarkanath in Bengaluru, Bureau Report, India Today.
And there's a fresh river water dispute flashpoint between Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, the two Telugu states, with the Andhra Pradesh taking steps to implement an ambitious project of linking the Godavari River basin with Penna via Krishna River. The project is aimed at providing drinking and irrigation water to the Rayalaseema region of Andhra Pradesh. But this has got Telangana up in arms, with Chief Minister Revanth Reddy saying that both states should share surplus water instead of clashing with each other, but also resorted to issuing a warning to Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu. Let's play out for you the war of words, how Telangana Chief Minister Revanth Reddy shot off a warning to CM Naidu.
మీరు పక్క రాష్ట్ర ముఖ్యమంత్రి, కేంద్రంలో మీకు పలుకుబడి ఉండొచ్చు, మోడీ గారు మీరు ఏం చెప్తే అది వినొచ్చు. అంత మాత్రాన మీ ప్రాజెక్టులకు అన్ని అనుమతులు వస్తాయని మీరు అనుకుంటే అది భ్రమ. అట్లాంటి వాటికి అవకాశం లేదు. తెలంగాణ రాష్ట్ర ప్రజలకు ప్రయోజనాలు కాపాడుకోవడానికి అవసరమైన ప్రణాళిక వ్యూహరచన స్పష్టంగా ఉన్నది. మేము ఈరోజు వివిధ రాజ్యాంగబద్ధమైన సంస్థలకు మేము ఫిర్యాదులు చేస్తున్నాము.
నెంబర్ 1 అంటూ ఒక అడ్వాంటేజ్ వచ్చింది. తెలంగాణ ఈజ్ ఎ గోల్డ్ మైన్, మంచి రాష్ట్రం. ఆ ఎకో సిస్టమ్ ఈజ్ వెరీ పవర్ఫుల్ ఎకో సిస్టమ్. అది రావాలంటే చాలా టైం పడుతుంది. ఇక్కడ యాగం చేయాలి, ఇది చేయాలి. నేను యజ్ఞం మారి చేస్తామంటే ఇక్కడ కొంతమంది ఆ యజ్ఞాన్ని భంగం చేయడానికి, ఆ ఫలితాలు ప్రజలకు అందకుండా చేయాలని అన్ని ప్రయత్నాలు జరుగుతున్నాయి. అది కరెక్ట్ కాదు సార్. మీరు
Let's get your footage now coming in right now from Israel of the moment, the exact moment an Iranian missile hit a building in Haifa. Two videos that have captured the strike. Take a quick look at exactly what happened in Israel's port city of Haifa. So we'll get you that dramatic video in just a bit of that exact moment when the missile strikes one of the massive buildings in Haifa, leading to destruction. We're still getting in details of the level of destruction reported and if there have been any casualties. But the footage, rather dramatic, does show the moment that a missile hits a building in the city of Haifa. Let's play out for you that video from Haifa showing the moment the missile, an Iranian missile, strikes the building.
By holding out.
And that's the footage there on your screens. You can see the exact moment when the missile strikes. Plumes of smoke there. Looks like there's been quite a bit of destruction, but again showing you that there are some missiles that Iran has fired that's made it through beyond the air defense system, the rather robust air defense system of Israel. And so it's leading to also quite a bit of damage for Israel. Previously it was a hospital, now in the port city of Haifa, one of the missiles making it through and hitting its intended target. Tomorrow is International Yoga Day, and like every year, Prime Minister Modi will be participating in a mega event. This time around, it will be in Andhra Pradesh's Vizag. Over 5 lakh participants will be coming together along a 26-kilometer stretch from RK Beach to Bhimili Beach in Vizag to be going ahead and practicing yoga with the Prime Minister. Apurva Jayachandran gets you a sense of the preparations on ground.
Over 25,000 tribal students have flagged off the part of the International Yoga Day celebrations that is happening in a grand scale here Vishakhapatnam, here at Vizag, at the very dais where we are at, roughly around 25,000 tribal students are attempting for a world record for Surya Namaskars here in Vishakhapatnam. Tomorrow marking the International Yoga celebrations. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is expected to arrive here and partake in the Yoga-Andhra celebrations here in Vishakhapatnam, where he will be partaking in the yoga celebrations here. Over 5 lakh people will be partaking along with Prime Minister Modi, Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister Nara Chandrababu Naidu, Deputy Chief Minister Pawan Kalyan in the Swarna Andhra's mission of Yoga Andhra 2025. As a part of these celebrations today, over 25,000 tribal children have attempted for a world record of Surya Namaskars here as a part of the International Yoga Day celebrations. With video journalist Prasad at Vishakhapatnam, Apurva Jayachandran, India Today.
And you can join us for our special Yoga Day coverage starting 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. That's all we have time for in this edition of Super 6. Thanks for tuning in. I am leaving you, however, with the images, or rather emotional pictures of President Draupadi Murmu breaking down on the occasion of her birthday, as visually impaired students had a very special wish for her.